What is going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. So I've been using the M2 MacBook Air for quite a while now, and I've made lots of like unboxing and full review, and also regarding the dramas and conspiracies of this device. So make sure to check out those videos as well if you are looking to buy this device. First of all, if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe and also hit the like button to support my videos. And if you're already subscribed, thanks for supporting my work. Now I just want to go and straight away tell you that this is my first MacBook ever. I have been a lifelong Windows laptop user and I have actually don't know even the basics of Mac OS. And when I started using this laptop, there are some basic things that actually bothered me and slowed down my experience with this laptop. And that is why I just thought to make this quick video. Whereas this is not a full guide from like a Windows to Mac user experience. These are some initial steps that I wanted to note down and I wanted to convey this to you so that it can make your transition smoother and faster. Then, of course, there are several things that you can go ahead and learn, but these are some basic things that I want to tell you that can actually, you might not even know at first, and then you'll be surprised that things were so easier. It was not so difficult that you thought it initially would be. So, without wasting any further time, let's get started. Now, the very first thing that I want to show you is about the trackpad because when you actually boot this laptop up and do your setup, the trackpad is your first way of communicating with this laptop, interacting with this laptop. And let me tell you, it's not so straightforward like it is in Windows laptops. And at first, when you set up your laptop, and also if you set up a new user, the laptop restores its original settings, and the tap on the trackpad is not on by default for some reason. You have to actually press down the trackpad really hard to actually make a click. Now, do note that on the M2 MacBook Air, this trackpad which is there, it's not a physical button. It does not have any physical buttons whatsoever. It is like one of those, touch IDs that older iPhones had, which gave haptic feedback. So it's not a physical button, but it does give that haptic feedback that it is like a button. So initially, it is by default in the factory settings, it is like you have to press down like an actual button really hard, and it makes your user experience really difficult actually to say. And with Windows laptops, in my experience, even though the trackpad is sometimes not that smooth, but it has that tap enabled. You just have to tap to click. So let me quickly show you how to do that. Go to this Apple logo here, go to system preferences, and by the way, you can arrange these are already arranged by uh, alphabetically, because so previously this will be like this and it might be a bit difficult to find things on this. So you can go ahead in this view and organize alphabetically. So it will be a bit easier to find it. So on the trackpad, if you go, so in point and click. So this tap to click, it will initially be disabled. So you have to enable this. And also I prefer keeping the click thing light and also the tracking speed fast, so it makes the experience more smoother. Now another thing with the trackpad is that for some reason in macOS the right click is not enabled by default. So you have to go ahead and click that. So secondary click you have to enable. So like here I have enabled secondary click, and here I've kept this at click in bottom right corner like we usually do with Windows laptops. So that makes the transition smoother because now the trackpad is just like a Windows laptop trackpad. Now the next thing is about closing and minimizing and maximizing windows. So basically everything, if you see on Windows laptops, you always had everything on the right side. But when it comes to Mac OS, everything is on the left side. So, and it's also inverted. So this is the close button, this is the minimize, and if it that window supports maximize, then maximize is also there. For example, I'll just go ahead and open something. So for example, I've just opened up Safari and my YouTube channel on that. And here if you see, we have the maximize, minimize and close button. So if you want to maximize, and it will enter full screen. And to bring those buttons back, you can just hover here and then it will show close and to exit this full screen view basically. So you can press this again and it will exit that full screen. Now this is the minimize button. And the next thing I want to tell you in this macOS is that in Windows, if you just close an app, it will close that app and free up memory in RAM, but it does not happen in macOS. So if I close this, it will still stay. So if you see that white dot below this Safari, it will still stay in RAM. So to close it, actually you have to right click on that app and then press quit. So this will actually close that app and free up memory in RAM. Now the other thing is to close this, and especially this is usually used when apps get hung up. So you can go in this Apple logo and force quit. So here you will see all the applications that are open and actually force quit them. Finder is an app which we'll talk about in a minute. But other apps you can go ahead and force quit. I have heard from my friends and also from my subscribers in my comments that this is actually used to only close or force quit when an app is frozen. And you should usually close it like this from the dock bar or from the menu section. Now, as I showed you about Finder, Finder is something like we had in Windows Explorer. So you will see basically all files and everything in Finder. And one more thing to also note is that this app will never close because it is Explorer by default. So I've just opened this up and it is showing me all of the section that is there. But one thing to get confused in this Finder app is that see, if you see these tags are a bit confusing, that you have very limited folders. But if you actually want to go in that folder structure and what it is there, it's a bit difficult to find it from here. So what to do in that case is that, let me tell you one thing. This is another tip that this bar on the above, it actually applies to all the apps. And based on what app you have open, this bar will actually change with all the options related to that application. So like I want to actually go to some other folder structure. So if you press go here, then you will see you have home, you have computer, like all the sections will be there. Like this hard disk drive is there, and this I have applications, library, system, users. If I go in users, then I'll have my particular user, and in those documents I'll have. So like this, you have to use this menu bar, and it took me quite a while to get used to this because I was trying to find how to go into the folder structure, and then I realized that it is there in this menu bar itself. So a lot of things, like even for Safari, you should keep in mind of this menu bar because this will help you open new windows or go into settings and stuff like that. And the next thing I want to tell you about is this command key. So like in Windows, we have control. In MacBooks, we have command key basically. So everything that we used to do in Windows with control, like to select Control A, to copy Control C, Control Z for undo, like all those things you can do with this command plus that key, like Command A for selecting all or anything like that. So that is something to keep in mind. And the control key here does not work like the control in Windows. Here we have the command key. So you will find yourself using this command key a lot. And honestly, till now, I've hardly ever used the option and the control keys. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that where do you see all the apps here? Like we have start menu in Windows. Like what is the start menu here? This is nothing but the Launchpad you'll see in the dock menu here. If you open this, you'll see all the apps that you have. Now, there is also a shortcut to go into this Launchpad via your trackpad, and you can go into this Apple logo, System Preferences, Trackpad. And if you go in More Gestures, you will have this Launchpad setting here. Now it is written as pinch with thumb and three fingers. So if you do that, it will open the Launchpad very quickly. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that, like in Windows, how we have .exe and executable files, in macOS we have DMG files. So basically, in macOS, what happens is that whatever files or things you install, applications, they act like a disk. So if you go into Finder and if you install any app, it will be seen here as a disk. So what I'll try to do is, let me do one thing. Like I have this parallels thing. So if I just open this, then it will show this location here. So it is basically like a disk that is there, and you can eject this once you want to uninstall or delete that app. So a quick thing to keep in mind, .dmg files are your home now. Now the next thing I want to tell you is that whilst you open or close apps, this menu bar, especially if you maximize your window, then it gets closed up. So it's like if I open up Google Chrome, and if I maximize this, so this gets hidden. And by the way, you can look into preferences and always keep this bar on, but it gets disappeared. So you'll need some time to get used to it. So if you just hover here on the top, then it will be enabled. And now as you see, as we already discussed, this is showing Chrome because Chrome is open, and this is now modified for the options of Chrome. So in file, if you have new tab, new window, new incognito, or reopen some closed tab. So all those options that you would want in the Chrome settings or bookmarks and all those stuff like that, you will get in this menu bar. Now, the another thing here is that macOS supports multiple desktops, which I don't really see in Windows. You have just one desktop and you can manage that any way you want. But in macOS, you can actually have several desktops. So you don't have to have only one desktop screen. So how to do this is use your three fingers and then scroll up, and then it will show multiple desktops options, and you can swipe with your three fingers between those desktop screens. So guys, that was it. I hope these quick tips really helped you, because this will actually make your transition from Windows to macOS smoother. And do let me know if you need any more help, and if you want me to make an extensive Windows to Mac user guide, then let me know. I'll quickly get on working on it. So, and make sure to subscribe to this channel because it helps me keep motivated. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.